The impact of standardized testing on the U.S. education system is a subject of ongoing debate. Standardized tests, such as the SAT, Scholastic Assessment Test, and the ACT, American College Testing, are widely used in the United States for college admissions, accountability measures, and educational assessment. While standardized testing serves certain purposes, it has generated a range of opinions and concerns about its implications for students, teachers, schools, and the overall education system. Here is an exploration of the impact of standardized testing. 1. Accountability and assessment. Measuring academic achievement. Standardized tests are used as tools to assess students' academic achievement. They provide a standardized measure for comparing students, schools, and districts. School and teacher accountability. Standardized test scores are often tied to school and teacher accountability. Schools may face consequences, such as funding reductions or interventions, based on their performance on standardized assessments. 2. College admissions. Gatekeeping function. Standardized tests are a key component of college admissions, serving as a standardized metric for evaluating applicants. Many colleges and universities use test scores as part of their admissions criteria. Socioeconomic disparities. Critics argue that standardized testing may contribute to socioeconomic disparities in college admissions. Some contend that students from wealthier families can afford test preparation resources, giving them an advantage. 3. Teaching to the test. Narrowing curriculum. Concerns have been raised about a potential narrowing of the curriculum as teachers focus on preparing students for standardized tests. This may lead to an emphasis on test-related content at the expense of a broader, more holistic education. Impact on teaching methods. The pressure to achieve high test scores may influence teaching methods, with some educators feeling compelled to prioritize test preparation over creative or critical thinking skills. 4. Stress and anxiety. Student stress. The high stakes associated with standardized testing can contribute to stress and anxiety among students. The importance placed on test scores may create a pressure cooker environment, affecting student well-being. Bias and cultural sensitivity. Critics argue that standardized tests may be culturally biased, potentially disadvantaging certain groups of students. This bias can contribute to inequities in educational outcomes. 5. Educational inequities. Achievement gaps. Standardized testing results often reflect and reinforce existing achievement gaps among different demographic groups. This has led to discussions about the role of testing in addressing or exacerbating educational inequities. Resource allocation. Some argue that the focus on testing may divert resources from addressing systemic issues such as unequal funding, inadequate facilities, and insufficient teacher support. 6. Alternative assessment models. Portfolio assessments. Advocates for alternative assessment models propose using portfolios, projects, and performance assessments as alternatives to standardized testing. These methods may provide a more comprehensive view of a student's abilities. Holistic admissions. Some colleges and universities are moving toward holistic admissions processes that consider a broader range of factors beyond standardized test scores. This shift aims to promote a more equitable and inclusive approach to college admissions. 7. Testing industry influence. Commercialization. The prevalence of standardized testing has given rise to a testing industry, with companies developing and administering tests, as well as providing test preparation services. Critics argue that this commercialization can distort educational priorities. Costs. The costs associated with standardized testing, including test development, administration, and test preparation, can be substantial. This has implications for education budgets and resource allocation. 8. Policy and reform. Policy debates. The impact of standardized testing has been a central topic in educational policy debates. Discussions focus on the appropriate use of tests, the validity of their results, and potential reforms to the testing system. Opt-out movement. In response to concerns about over-reliance on testing, some parents and educators have participated in the opt-out movement, encouraging students to refuse standardized tests. Conclusion. The impact of standardized testing on the U.S. education system is complex and multifaceted. While these tests serve certain purposes, concerns about equity, narrowing curricula, and the influence of the testing industry have fueled debates about their overall efficacy and appropriateness. As educational policies continue to evolve, ongoing discussions about the role of standardized testing will shape the future of assessment in the U.S. education system.